I'm joined here today by the one and only, you know who this is, of course, Akonne Wanliss, set to fight Alfie Davis at Bellator Milan, coming up real soon. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm very good, man. I'm very good. I like your intro. It's lit. It's lit. Very excited as well.
Yes, sir. How long ago have you known about this fight? Because especially people in the media and stuff, we found out very recently, and it sounds like the fighters, you guys have had a few weeks to know about it.
Yeah. I actually knew about the fight. Ooh, maybe like there was talkings. There was talking about 5 weeks ago, maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago. So I've probably known for about that time.
And so for
I knew I
you,
was going to fight around about that time for maybe even longer.
and so how was it for you as a fighter during that period? Because I think you guys like what 8 week training camps, and like it can be a little bit tough with the weight cut and everything. How was that period for you?
For me, I'm always like training. I'm always on shape. I'm always on weight, much like around, in and around. So it's never really been a struggle for me. Quarantine or no quarantine, I never really slipped off. It actually kind of focused me even more. I just didn't have any more other things to do. Like I kind of like a backstory. You may not know that I used to strip. I used to done strip,
Huh?
and that used to take up my weekends.
Yeah.
And obviously with the quarantine and the COVID, we couldn't do that. That shut down. So it kind of just really accelerated my retirement in stripping, just to allow me to 100% focus on fighting. So here we are, man. A new level, even higher. And I don't know if you've been watching any of my socials, man, but I'm in shape. I'm even
Right.
more in shape.
I think the people would be very mad at me if I didn't try to find out more about this stripping of yours, this bombshell you kind of dropped on us. What's the story behind that, man? We've seen you on your socials. I mean, you're obviously in very good shape. But what's the story behind stripping?
So maybe a long time ago, 8 years ago, I was personal training, and I decided that I needed what happened. No, that was it. One of my friends messaged me on Facebook when Facebook was around, and he was telling me like about this hen party ladies night thing. It was that he needs someone to come around. He needs someone to help him. And obviously, the first time I heard this as a young kid, I was thinking, what the hell? like,
Right.
what is this? He was like, look, you'll enjoy it. Buy a shirt, and a bow tie and some baby oil. So I did that, right? I
Yeah.
turned up on the day with my shirt and my baby oil and my bow tie. And he takes my shirt, and within like 5 minutes, he comes back with just the collars and cuffs. And I'm thinking, I said, bro, where the fuck is my shirt?
Right.
And I couldn't believe it. So anyway, put it all on, put the baby oil on, and within about 5-10 minutes, when 7 o'clock hit, the door bursted open, and about 300 to 400 women was running into the building, and just a madness. And then I seen the guys who were doing the stripping on stage, and had my little fame moment at the start. And then all the girls ran to the stage, and this guy was dancing on stage, and I come from a dancing background. Like I used to break dance, used to be in a professional breakdancing crew called Transit Tricks, and I used to do ballet when I was a kid, tiny kid, like from 3 years old. And then I did contemporary and tap through school. So I've always been into dance. I loved it. And seeing the guy dance on stage, his skills were very mediocre. And I was like, all right, cool. And then the end part, you got to get naked. All right, sweet. And then I asked, how much get paid? And he got paid 3 times as much as me on a night. And I had stayed there maybe about 4 hours longer than him.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I'm tallying up two and two together, and I'm thinking, come on, mate, I'm not doing this hosting thing anymore. I'm stripping. So
Right.
the rest history. And yeah, I did it for a solid 7-8 years,
Wow.
and yeah, man, longer than my fight career.
Yeah. Crazy.
Way longer than my fight career. But I used it to help fund my career, and it's got me to the place where I am now, and I'm happy to say that I can retire and fully focus on just fighting, and my weekend don't have to be taken up by screaming ladies anymore.
I'm sure there's
you
gonna
know,
be women everywhere very sad to hear about that retirement.
uh, since there's just a documentary released about it as well, I've had two documentaries actually released, but people may not know. But you can go check them out at some point. They quite interesting watch.
Yeah,
But,
that's so crazy. I feel like Bellator should play on that a little bit more. Like, we've got ourselves a male stripper here, a dancer.
yeah,
Like, I feel
yeah.
like they need to play that up a little bit. That's so interesting.
Maybe they don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe they don't know.
they're about to find out.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe they don't know. Hey, another interesting thing is that you guys may know is that um, on Bellator Birmingham, my first Bellator, May the 4th, the force was strong,
Right, right.
where I took out Sam Slater. My walkout tune accidentally got switched with my stripping tune.
Oh no.
And when the entrance of the music came out, it just went Galaxy, Galaxy. And I'm about to come out and I'm hearing this. I'm
Right.
hearing them. I'm hearing this play in my head, and I'm behind my mask, just laughing my ass off, man. Oh my god! I don't know how I managed to stay focused. Just naturally in that. We do this day in day out, so you
Yeah.
can't knock me off my focus. It was just a great performance, and I'd like to finish him in the first round, but here we are.
I guess the stripper walkout music, like, it works for you. Like, we need some kind of stripper song every time you come out here now. It's got to be the
Hey,
tradition.
no. I told you I retired, man. I'm done. I'm the guy.
That's right.
But I leave the stripping stuff for like every now and again. I must bung it out every now and again. Use it as like a trump card.
Right. But so with the stripping, I mean, you have to have a certain aesthetic, right? Because as an athlete, obviously you're in a certain amount of shape, but you have to have your body look a certain way, right? As a stripper.
Yeah, you have to. You have to stay in shape, of course, but that goes hand in hand with it too. I believe you have to stay in shape. You see, like a lot of what's the name? Hey, baby, how you doing? You see, what's the name? The British boxer used to get very out of shape. Forgot his name. It's at the
Ricky
tip of
Hatton.
my tongue. Ricky Hatton. Yeah, boom.
There we go.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
It's unbelievable how the difference between him out of camp and in camp.
Yeah.
And that has a tremendous effect on you. And must do. It really must do, because he must have to spend his whole camp having to get into shape. So if you stay in shape, you stay focused all the time. Obviously, you can enjoy yourself. You can eat as many Jaffa cakes as you want. As that's what I do. And if you're into alcohol, have your alcohol and stuff. But best believe, if you go too far away from the gauge, too far away from the focus, it's going to take you some time to go back in. And when you come across people who are 100% on it in this fight game, who this is what they want and this is what they're focused on, you're gonna have an uphill battle.
And so
I believe.
what does your diet kind of look like? Because obviously you are a physique, I believe, above a lot of people, especially if you compare like you and Roy Nelson, for example, to both professional MMA fighters. But
Oh man, you can't compare me to Big Country.
I mean, Big Country's already got the stripper name. But listen, what's kind of your diet look like? Are you one of those like paleo, keto, or do you just kind of try to stay and eat clean?
I don't have no crazy ass diet. I don't have no paleo or keto or anything like that, or grains only. The one thing I do, I cut out Jaffix 4 weeks before, and I cut out bread, because bread don't really sit with my stomach too well. It kind of bloats it, and it makes me feel a little bit like I need to poo all the time, So, so bread just don't really agree with me. So they're the only special dietary requirements I do, and everything else is like you won't see me eating at KFC often. I'll eat it every now and again, but that stuff gives me spots, and it's greasy, and I cook better chicken.
Right.
So why am I going to KFC?
Exactly.
So it's just like little lifestyle. Bang on. That it is just my lifestyle of the way I eat, and because I'm constantly training, and I grew up as a skinny kid. I guess that's just my natural body of how it is,
Right,
I grew up as a very skinny kid. I was very, very short and skinny. It's weird how I just got big and tall from the transition from high school to college. I must grew about 6 inches or something, man. I'm mad. Maybe even a foot.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Massive growth spurt.
I mean, listen, you're taking on Davis here coming up at Bellator Milan. Normally, I talk about like the fighting in front of like an Italian crowd and stuff, but it's going to be an
Hmm.
empty arena, so that's not really a topic. But
Yeah.
are you prepared for the empty arena? Like, do you feel like that's going to be more like a sparring match? I know some people have described it like that. What do you think of the empty arena?
Um, it doesn't really bother me because I've fought in empty arenas before at high level competition. So I went through IMAFs, which is pretty much empty in the early days. I know they got crowds now, but in the early days when I was competing in IMAF, it was pretty bare and empty. You couldn't hear nothing, and there was maybe a couple of other fights going on. So it won't phase me at all. I've been there and done that, and to be honest, when I'm in the cage and when I'm fighting, when I'm unleashing the force, I can't hear the crowd anyway. I'm just solely focused. I don't even see the referee. Nothing. It's just boom, me and my opponent.
That makes a lot of sense. Speaking of your opponent Davis, what was your reaction when Bellator kind of came to you or your manager or whomever and told you that this was the guy you were fighting next?
Let's go! You know what? At first, I was like, because again, they're giving me people that I know, right? I mean, I
Right.
suppose that's gonna happen. Cool. There's, and until I defeat or prove myself as number one in Europe, which will happen, then we move on to national competition, right? So I guess you're going to see other people, and on paper, Alfie's ranked ninth in the UK, and he's 13-3, so he's got a tasty record. But other than that, me and him haven't seen each other for a few years. I know him. Back then, I have no ill manner towards him as personally. This is the fight game. You signed to take food off my table, so you will get finished.
There we go. Well, how do you like the matchup in this one? I've never heard a fighter say they don't like the matchup, so it'd be weird if this was the first time I heard it. But how do you like the matchup in this one?
I think it's all in my favor. Like again, on paper, you see 13-3, you see ranked ninth in the UK, you see fourth, ranked 45th, you see 4-1, and think, oh, underdog, blah blah blah. But the MMA gods or the people that understand MMA and the people that know our two different skills understand that this ain't no underdog matchup. And when we talk about underdogs, I've come in underdog on every single of my opponents, all my. I know I've only had five. I know I'm not gassing here, but still early in my career, I've been underdog at all of them. And you talk about the last one, 56 seconds, taking out Tim Barnett. Then we taken out Sam Slater in the two of the Bellator things. So I'm living and breathing in that underdog world right now. It does not affect me at all. So I absolutely love the matchup because of him on paper and the ranking of who he is, and that's what really excites me right now, to be able to take more steps to being one in Europe, and then be number one in the UK, be number one in Europe, and then be number one in the world. Of that process, I'm just so in awe and so in love with the process of becoming champion.
For sure. One last question, then we'll let you go. It's sort of an obvious one, but how do you see yourself getting the job done?
I don't see it going to the judges, that's for sure. The force will come out in full reckoning and crush. It's just going to be an obliteration.
All right. Well, there we go. Thanks so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it. Super interesting, the stuff about the male stripper. I had no idea this was going to come up.
I can't believe that slipped out.
There we go.
I can't believe no one knows about it, really.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
maybe
funny.
it's time for the entire world to find out, and maybe we find out on the broadcast.
Mm. Let's keep focusing on this fighting skill.
There we go.
Stay tuned, man. It's going to be a really, really good event. I'm really excited about some of the fights on there as well. Some of the fights on the card.
For sure. I mean,
I'm
just
excited to be
the
in
main event
Milan.
itself. Yeah.
Just the main event itself, like
Yeah.
Fabian in Cost.
Yeah.
It's going to be sick. It's going to be sick. Oos! So tune in 26th September and watch the force be unleashed.